I've been having treatment for melanoma, skin cancer. I had stereotactic radiotherapy to destroy 3 tumours in my brain, followed by my first dose of immunotherapy to try and stop new tumours from forming. This was October 2020, so it's a wee while ago now. After the radiotherapy, I did have a bit of a headache. I mean, it wasn't too bad, it was just constant, it was just annoying, and paracetamol sorted it out. After the immunotherapy, they decided they would have me visit my GP regularly to keep an eye out for side effects, but I felt fine. They called me every couple of days for a phone assessment, or else I phoned them to ask for advice. I mean, it was my first time, I didn't know what was right, what was expected. Whenever the headache wasn't fading, they asked me to pop over for a wee checkup, so I went down to the cancer centre. Yeah, Mr. McLean, the thing is, all your liver measurements are through the roof, or deranged, as they enjoyed saying. Take this one, ALT. It's measuring at 400. It's never supposed to go above 40. But I felt fine. We're going to have to keep you in overnight. I didn't even have a toothbrush. So what had started out as a trip to Belfast with my wife, Claire, to get a few checks and a few tests done, it turned into something much more significant. Between having the tests done and getting the results, Claire and I went to Botanic Gardens. We had some food, we just enjoyed the afternoon together. But then back at the ward, there was no visitors allowed because it was COVID in those days. So Claire had to sit in the car. And we just texted and phoned each other until the doctor came. And she listened into his call. And the doctor said, you are having a severe reaction to your immunotherapy. We need to take action to get it back under control. But I feel fine. And another thing, will this affect my ability to get my next immunotherapy in a week's time? Yeah. You can't ever have immunotherapy again, not ever. Now, I knew that was a possibility, but I didn't think it would happen this quickly. See, as I understand it, immunotherapy kickstarts the body's own immune system. It recognizes and attacks cancer cells then. My body's reaction to the immunotherapy might not significantly affect the long-term outcome. It might still work. And then my phone's battery died and I wasn't able to talk to Claire. There was no doctor to talk to, and I had time to sit and think. When was the last time that you were alone with time to think and not even a phone to play games on or watch social media on, and you don't even have a book to read? And when was that time, and what did you do when you had that time? I thought, that's what I did. Both the cancer and my liver had been quietly building up and destroying me from the inside. And I was ignorant, unaware, completely oblivious. While I was busy filling my time with things to do with technology and things to do with my hands, my body was destroying itself. Now, if you're familiar with typical Christian illustrations, you might think that I'm about to say, oh, the cancer or the liver is like sin and it destroys us if we ignore it. But that's not the thing that came to my mind. The thing that struck me was that time and time again, doctors had watched me. They had observed me. They'd looked out for my needs. They had seen the problem before I did. And they had stepped in with their years of experience and offered to save my life. Now, Christians already have three things that everybody is searching for. We have a strong identity. We have meaning in our lives. And we also have a purpose. That's the three things that I think not make us Christian, but it's three things that we have as Christians that most people just don't have. Now, we don't have it all worked out. It's just part of the bundle that comes with being Christ's. But we get caught up with the same routine as everybody else. We do. And we forget how liberating it is to be a Christian. For example, our purpose. Part of that is to help people understand how wonderful Christ is. Sometimes we see our friends searching for identity and purpose and meaning, and we say nothing. I suppose you could say we're like doctors who see the symptoms and they know the cure, but they just don't bother telling the patient. And I need to sort that in my life. But also that raises the usual question that I have. As always, why would a God who's as powerful as the God I worship is, who can answer my prayers, why would he still be willing to answer them, even though I'm not doing what he has commanded me to do? I need to continue thinking about that. The heart pumps blood, the lungs transfer oxygen from the air, but the liver, I like to be able to describe things simply and concisely, and I read up on the liver and I can't. It does too many seemingly unrelated things. It filters, it stores, it creates, it regulates, and of course, if your liver fails, you die. And the other thing, it can also go very wrong with no obvious symptoms. And that was what my problem was. I had only gone to the cancer centre because, well, I wanted to get checked for a headache. And they kept me in because my liver was going very wrong. Every liver function measurement was deranged, but they focused on one. It was called the ALT. I'll need to look up later what that stands for. Your ALT is supposed to stay under 40. Mine was 400. If it's above 800, that would be bad. So first day, mine was 400. The next morning, it had gone up to 420. And the treatment is steroids, lots of them. If you think about it, 2 milligrams had cleared my head and reduced all the swelling in my head. 12 milligrams was because of the stereotactic radiotherapy. That got me through the wedding. I was on 80 milligrams every day, intravenously. I'll tell you what, if you've ever seen the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, that's how steroids make you feel. You can't sleep, but you don't need to. I could think with absolute clarity. I could solve any problem. I could explain any concept. Colours were brighter. Food tasted amazing. I felt great. Steroids are unbelievable for a while. Day 3. My ALT had gone down to 410. Now, in 90% of people, that sort of steroid dose brings the liver into line within a few days. Day 5, mine was 478. Was that just a blip? Day 7, 537. Apparently I'm in the 10% that steroids are not good enough. But I felt fine. I felt amazing. Dr. Burke, the oncologist, he said, it's okay. 537 is not the highest that I've ever seen. And we've always been able to get it under control. Now, there is a drug that's normally used to prevent organ rejection in transplant patients. My cancer team, they looked for advice from the gastroenterology team, the experts, and they put me onto dose. It's called mycophenolate. Day 8, my ALT was up to 650. We're up here. So then I started mycophenolate. That's the transplant medication. The other thing is you can't just come off steroids. You can't just stop them. They need to be reduced over several weeks. Day 10, my ALT was still above 500, but the drug is obviously working. So they said, you can go home. We'll do blood tests twice a week, and eventually it'll come back to normal. So I got home, big bag of drugs, with transplant drugs and steroids and all the other pills to try and counter the side effects of the mycophenolate and the prednisolone. I was on 29 tablets a day, which I think is a lot. Yeah. And it worked. Within a month, most of my results had come back to normal. My ALT went sort of 500, 350, 200, 120, 70, and eventually got back to normal. Phew. Eventually I got off those liver tablets a couple of weeks later, and I was able to start thinking about cancer again. Yay! One other thing, steroids are horrible. I never want to see another one again. They are the most, they just mess you up. Yeah, they're amazing for a while, but no.